Yes. Okay. I got 2 thumbs up. I'm going to start the message this morning. I wanted to expand a little bit on our reading from 1 Timothy. Now, Timothy was written by Paul. Word, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. He was written by Paul to Timothy. Yes? We think. Okay, as far as we know. I'd like to start on verse 3. If anyone advocates a different doctrine and does not agree with sound words, those of our Lord Jesus Christ, and with the doctrine conforming to godliness, he is conceited and understands nothing, but he has a morbid interest in controversial questions and disputes about words, out of which arise envy, strife, abusive language, evil suspicions, and constant friction between men of depraved mind and deprived of the truth, who suppose that godliness is a means of gain. But godliness actually is a means of great gain when accompanied by contentment. For we have brought nothing into the world, so we cannot take anything out of it. That is the truth. Makes it kind of strange. We come in with nothing. We spend our lives trying to accumulate stuff. Clothes that fall apart. Cars that rust and break down. Tractors that have tires rot and go flat. Everything we spend our life trying to accumulate that we interpret as riches here in this life doesn't do us any good when we die. We can't take it with us. Usually it depreciates over time and becomes worthless. Yeah, you may be able right now to sell a used car for more than what you paid for it. But in a little while, it's worthless. But if we're content, if we're happy with what the Lord blesses us with, then we have wealth. Our children, we teach them. We teach them the ways of our Lord. We teach them to live right, to be generous. That is a wealth that will continue on. And that's what Paul was talking about. Trust in the Lord and work on building a treasure that will last. My first car was a '63 Ford Falcon. I'm sure it's long gone. But the same year I bought that, I made some friends. And they're my friends to this day, and they will be my friends probably long after I die. Which was my treasure? That Falcon? No. But my friends. I've worked long and hard at many jobs. Squandered a lot of the wages. To what end? It's thrown away. But that which I gave to the Lord continues to grow. What you gave to the Heifer Project will provide food, not just for that one family, but for a village and other villages, and it grows. We've worked over the years to build a church family. It has expanded our immediate families. I love Bernie, Boss, Ward, Skip. I love you all. No matter how much grief you give me. Yes, you. Because I know that you love me deep down, somewhere in the corner, in the dark. You love me too. And you're giving me grief out of that love. And I'll accept that. I'll cherish that. We need to set our priorities. That's what the parable in Luke was about. The rich man was accumulating wealth in this world, wealth that rots, rusts, falls apart. He didn't think about others. He didn't worry about others. He only worried about himself. And that's why he ended up in hell. Lazarus, on the other hand, came into the world with nothing, had nothing, left with nothing. But in the afterlife, he got to sit at the right hand of Abraham. The rich man saw Lazarus and asked, "Abraham, have pity. Let him dip his finger in to quench my thirst." Let him go back and tell my brothers what awaits them. We all know the Charles Dickens Christmas story. The three spirits tried to show him. And Scrooge learned. The rich man was afraid that his brothers wouldn't. Abraham, send Lazarus to tell them. Abraham says, they've got Moses and the prophets. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me. But if you send Lazarus, I'm sure. Abraham says, the Moses and the prophets weren't enough. Someone returning from the dead isn't going to be enough. And it kind of struck me. How many people that relates to? They spend their lives accumulating. And they go to church every Sunday and they hear about Jesus who came back from the dead. And it falls on deaf ears. Just as Abraham said, we have Moses and the prophets too. But for some people, even Jesus coming back from the dead isn't enough to turn that light bulb on. For those people, I feel sorry because they will never know the rich life you can have once you accept Christ, once you make him your focus. All the opportunities that they are missing in serving our Lord. They think if I'm the chairman of this, or I'm the president of that club, or that they think they'll find fulfillment. And I'm sure to a limited extent they do. But nothing compares to the fulfillment you feel when you are doing God's work. When you reach out your hand to someone in need and help them. Because they need you. Not out of self-interest, not out of, I want to look good. And all of you, I know, have touched the hand of God when you held it out to someone else. You have been the hand of God when you have reached out in Christian love and helped a neighbor, a stranger, a friend. You, by doing that, will have riches. May not show up in your bank account, your stock portfolio, But these are riches that will never depreciate or be affected by a recession. These are riches that you will get to take with you when you leave this life. And all God's people said, Amen. Thank you.